What up? Welcome back to the podcast. You are here with just checking in with your two favorite co-hosts, everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Don Don, yours truly. Also joined by my Winter Skies brother over here, Paul, aka.
Mr. Qualified, how y'all doing?
It's not often that you see somebody kind of coordinate grades.
It's tough.
It's,
Coordinating
it's
grades is
tough.
tough.
So you were either making a statement or filming Creed. I don't know.
Uh, Definitely making a statement. I mean, no, I'm not the boxer in my group of people. I'm not the boxer, but I get that vibe. Especially it's like a heavy set hoodie. It looks like I'm about to go hit a punching bag and get all my frustrations out. But no, I was just making a little fashion statement. Nothing crazy.
I mean, I like it. I like it. I went with green because that's just what I grabbed out the closet as we got ready to start. But yeah, I feel like your outfit and my complexion are the same today because I feel very winter pale right now. Like that good summer golden color I had is officially gone.
I mean, y'all did get snow this week, which is, well,
Yeah.
Milwaukee got snow too, but I guess that's not super surprising. I mean, we've seen crazier, but how much snow did y'all get?
They said it was supposed to be 1 to 3, and at least in the city, it didn't stick. So it snowed forever and then just continued to melt. So that was fine. But I mean, we can't really complain. It just snowed for the first time, what, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
So and it's warmer today. Like it's nice outside. It looks like fall right now. So I'm into it.
Yeah, the Midwest does love being bipolar, but yeah, can you believe that we are already at Thanksgiving?
No,
This is insane,
I
Loki.
cannot. Thanksgiving is what, Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how did we get here? I don't know. I'm still trying to keep up for the year. So I was getting ready to ask you like what's new in your world, but at this point, what's what's going on in the world? Because the calendar is at the last page.
Yeah, no, I think back to I forgot when you told me this. I think it was a couple of years ago, but it was something along the lines of like the days going by slow, but like the months or like actual time moves fast. And I feel like because at every point in the year, it's kind of been like, dang, things can move it a little fast, ain't they? Or like this month done flew by, and then now all of a sudden we at the end of November. And yeah, it ain't, I mean, at this point, ain't too much new going on, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe I need to get some more new. But I think that comes along with going into the new year. I don't believe in the whole new year resolutions thing, but resolutions at any point in time when you're ready to lock in can be beneficial. So I guess I'm just kind of looking at that. I am naturally in a space of reflection though, being toward the end of the year. So it's I get in reflection a lot, but toward the end of the year it seems to kind of come more so an avalanche. So navigating that, but it's all good though. Been an interesting year, but a needed year to say the least. So
Well, if you've been reflecting, let's dial that in to a time frame. What's this last week been like since we caught up?
this last week has been hell. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I think it's really just been a test, and maybe it's the symbolism of how things have been over a stretch of time, and it just was kind of really dialed in this week. But I think just the test of patience uh, and discipline, but it's just this idea of like the things I'm struggling with or the things that seem inconvenient are not surprises. They're not things that I necessarily have full control over, but they're
Okay.
not surprises. So it's finding that balance of okay, like I know, I kind of like know that I'm going to be inconvenienced in some capacity. I kind of know that I'm going to be challenged in some capacity. And so I have to exercise the patience to do so and have the discipline to not like get myself worked up and riled up over things I can't control. And I just feel like something about that was heightened this week in particular, but it's been a consistent theme. So again, just finding ways to kind of stay grounded and just yeah, stay patient in that process. But that's kind of how the last week has been for me. What about you?
I would say that. opposite, I guess, or different. My last week, outside of it being cold, was great. New opportunities and reunions was the theme of my week. So I got to run the official watch party page for the Survivor watch party on Wednesday, which was cool. Got to meet some current contestants, previous contestants, some new random folks. So if y'all are seeing this from new follows, and we appreciate you. Um, and then I went to a Friendsgiving last night, and it was a Mizzou Friendsgiving, so it was literally everybody from freshman year, basically, that started, Chicago together, that all still got together. I found out they've been doing this for 9 years. I've only been in Chicago a couple, but like they've been doing this for 9 years. This was my first time going. So yeah, it was good to see people that I've literally not seen since graduation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not you hadn't been getting invited. Who been leaving you off the list?
I know, right? They hate me. No, I hadn't been here. I just moved back a couple years ago. So
Yeah. For y'all that are new and don't know, Donald is everything, all things Survivor. So when he mentioned hosting this watch party, this is a big deal. This is not a small feat whatsoever. But are the two dudes, the podcast that they have, is that like an official Survivor podcast, or what's the connection there?
So they don't have well, I guess they kind of do have a podcast, but they just run the Bryce and Wynn present. That's the name of what they do. So with every season of Survivor, they pick a different city and do weekly watch parties with the local community there. They are both previous contestants. One won his season and the other unfortunately did not. But they just been doing that. Like the Survivor community is wild. Like they are very community based, like super philanthropic. They always want to engage folks. So it's just another way for people to come together. And then Survivor's on CBS. So they have, CBS friends. So people from like Big Brother also come out and hang out, and Amazing Race. And I think somebody was there from Squid Game. So it's interesting. I mean, these are just regular people, right? You see them on TV, but then you see them in person, and it's like, oh wow, you really actually exist. But Survivor is my NFL. So the same way folks be glued to the TV on Sundays, that's me on Wednesday. So yeah, pretty big deal in my world.
How did the opportunity even come about for you to, I guess, for you to manage the page for that day, for that watch party?
One of the guys, Bryce, reached out to me, but we've been friends on social media. Also, I've gone to other watch parties that they've hosted when they come to Chicago. They don't always come to Chicago, but the times that they have rotated, I've been there to support and then keep up. Bryce actually said he was watching the podcast, or at least the clips, and he said he liked our content. So, I was like, okay, we doing a little something.
We're getting some.
But yeah, no, he reached out like the day before and was like, "Hey, you want to run the account?" And I'm like, "Clearly, this isn't a spam call. So what exactly do I have to do?" But yeah, it was cool to be a little fake influencer for a second.
Nah, yeah, it's no, it looked like it was a good time. And the community part that you spoke to definitely stood out. Just through your stories and through like all the people that you knew or talked to and all of that. It was a lot going on. I feel like I would have been overwhelmed, but you seem to be right at home.
I was right at home. I had a little assistance, but I was right.
For sure. Now the Friendsgiving thing, I don't know if I've ever like been to an actual legitimate Friendsgiving. Like that we called it that, planned it, and then executed it. Like
Mhm.
people might come together, but I wonder as you get older, do you feel like you kind of prefer a Friendsgiving over like your like Thanksgiving with your family, or is that still gonna be the number one option for you?
I mean, yeah, family's always gonna get preferential treatment, and this is gonna sound, orphanage, but like I don't have family anymore for real. Like
Mm.
growing up, we had massive gatherings, and either folks moved on, passed on, got left aside. Like shrunk so much. So it's just my immediate family. And it's cool, but like Thanksgiving doesn't really hold the same weight as it used to because it's just another day that we are about to eat together, which we grew up, breaking bread together anyway. But Thanksgiving was like this big thing, like your family comes either from out of town or across town and come together and the kids' table and who's cooking and family drama and laughs and some of that happens, but it doesn't feel any different because it's really just the small group of us. So I do like Friendsgiving because that feels like the Thanksgiving I grew up with as a child.
Yeah.
And you can have multiple Friendsgivings because you might have multiple groups of friends. So that's nice to get different energy. Peyton invited me over for the holidays. I don't know if it's Christmas or if it's Thanksgiving. I ain't read the invitation in totality, but he's having something. So to be able to go to, his thing and my like freshman Mizzou friends and then my childhood from back home friends, we used to do stuff. So yes, I like that. I mean, family's always gonna get the number one spot, but I like the variety and the rotation with friends.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And like I don't know what it is, but I think that's a thing across the board of like families shrinking to the point where Thanksgiving does become a forgotten holiday because I guess there's the idea of that you're supposed to come together because it's supposed to be more of an emphasis on being thankful like for family and things like that. But we kind of spoke to when we said that a lot of families don't do reunions and stuff anymore.
Mhm.
I think we're seeing the same with certain holidays. Like I think the only holidays that kind of still reign supreme with the emphasis on family is Christmas, maybe. I know like obviously different families have different traditions. So I'm pretty sure there are some families that are larger that maybe Thanksgiving is a big tradition or whatever the case may be. But I do think we are starting to see that look a little bit different. And that is kind of sad because I would say it's kind of the same. Like on my mom's side, it's the more immediate family, but then you also have Joe's side as well, who when you put them both together, it becomes a relatively, large gathering. So yeah, but it's weird, but it kind of sucks that Thanksgiving is like the forgotten holiday. Like nobody cares about Thanksgiving. People are already playing Christmas music. People are barely waiting. Like people are putting those trees up on Friday, less than 24 hours after the holiday.
Well, not even sometimes before because like what am I supposed to play on Thanksgiving? I'm not about to Glorilla and have cranberry sauce and dressing, right? So it's gonna be the next best thing. Christmas music.
Wait. So why? Okay, so does Thanksgiving need like Thanksgiving music though? Like I'm pretty
Every
sure it
every
finds.
holiday damn near has music, and then you have Thanksgiving, and it's just like we have feelings on Thanksgiving, and that's cute, but like where the music at?
But, but honestly though, Christmas is the only holiday that like really has a specific type in
Halloween has music, a little spooky music. Valentine's Day, all that love music.
that's just R&B. That's just in blues if you want to.
It's still love songs. Birthdays, you got the traditional happy birthday, you got the Stevie Wonder happy birthday. Um, what's some other holidays? They all have music. Thanksgiving does not. And I don't even know what the Thanksgiving music would sound like. I probably wouldn't listen to it because honestly, it sounds boring as hell. But it's only so much you can do with carving turkeys and pilgrims.
Why can't Thanksgiving music just essentially be the family reunion music? It's the same vibe anyway.
Is it though?
Kind of, except for the fact that it's colder and you can't. I think if you look at it from the standpoint of trying to compare it to a Christmas, because let's be honest, birthdays, you playing whatever you like on your birthday, 9 times out of 10. Now, Juneteenth got a particular Juneteenth got music for sure, but the 4th of July don't really, I mean, it,
Well, Fourth
it
of
ain't
July
music
doesn't
as
really
4th of July.
any music, but they do the patriotic like pomp and circumstance thing. It feels
Memorial,
oppressive. Eh.
Memorial Day and Labor Day don't have music.
It's cookout music.
Ah, okay. Honestly,
Okay.
Thanksgiving should just be soul music. Why can't Thanksgiving just be soul music?
Okay. Make the playlist.
Okay.
Make the playlist and we will. play it on Thanksgiving with the four people I will look at, and then yeah, because if not, my mama probably just gonna play something like Wheel Down and a Luther Vandross, and that doesn't give. I'm thankful for y'all being here. That just means like this is the end of the night music, and I hope the dishes are washed so y'all can go home. Like, it's not.
I guess. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. What feeling? I guess is thankful the only feeling or the main feeling that's supposed to come from Thanksgiving? Because I don't think it's music for being thankful outside of gospel.
Thanksgiving usually brings thankful energy, full energy because you stuffed, or drama, because let's look at soul food. Big Mama, your arm. Like, I feel like that was around Thanksgiving. And if it wasn't, the movie should have been around Thanksgiving.
I think it is, it has to be around Thanksgiving. We're just gonna say that it is.
No, it is because they played September at the wedding and then shortly thereafter. Yeah. So, yeah. Or you could just, chase your family around with a knife and have your cousin blank the family. Like, that's Thanksgiving.
Iconic movie. But yeah, or the Shirley Caesar remix. That's basically the Thanksgiving song now.
Beans, green, tomatoes. That actually is. That is the Thanksgiving song. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's soul. Thanksgiving is sugar and auntie arms. Like,
Honestly, do you think the less melanated community takes Thanksgiving more seriously than us now? Have they always?
define take serious because when I hear take serious culturally, I think of in the kitchen. And no shade to my um other cousins out there, but I don't see certain communities throwing down in the kitchen.
If we're if we're going off of that aspect of it, then absolutely not. But more so from the gathering aspect.
This is a hot take, and I say this with love. Thanksgiving is probably the first and only time that I realized that white people have cousins. They say that they have aunts, they say that they have uncles, and then and the aunts and uncles will have kids, but I've never heard them refer to each other as cousins until recently, and that blew my mind. I was working at a job a couple of years ago, and it was like, oh yeah, you're getting ready for a holiday. My cousins are coming in town. I said, record scratch, what? I said, oh, okay. So I don't know. Do they throw down? Is this all coming together? It all just seems like a cultural experience I have not had. I will share it that way.
Fair. So this is fair. And I think that's funny because they typically don't. And I don't know if that's because maybe like our cousins, they would be our siblings. So I feel like that's why they come up so much because we like legit grew up with them. Like not adjacent. Like we grew up with them. A lot was intertwined.
No,
I
sure.
think they potentially be having like different lives. Like they know they related, but like they don't, their lives don't intertwine as much.
Yeah, because we know our cousins as our cousins. We say, oh, these are my cousins. But for the white folks that I have met in this conversation, they will say, oh, that's James, that's, Sarah. That's Cameron or whatever. So they introduced them as people, but they removed the familial connection from what I hear. So I was just like, what? Y'all got 13 cousins coming over for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, that's interesting. We need to get I would like some insight on that. We might have to tap into from our other cousins and see who can get who can
Yeah.
give us some insight.
Well, since this is in preparation for Thanksgiving, and I feel like Thanksgiving is shifted and evolved, are you still on traditional Thanksgiving menus? And if so, well, I know you're not bringing nothing, but if so, what would you cook if you had to for the meal?
Uh, what is so funny to me is that everybody that knows me loves to throw that caveat in whenever there's a conversation about cooking or bringing food, and I have to change this narrative. I'm getting a bit too old for this to still be the narrative, but nonetheless.
Lean into it. I have. Donald, what are you bringing? My wonderful personality and probably some napkins. Definitely some liquor.
Look, I
So
look, I got you on plates. I got you on everything you need to eat. You know what I'm
you
saying?
don't want me to cook for y'all, but you definitely want me there. So let me just light up the room,
Let me
okay?
contribute. Let me contribute in my special way.
I was gonna say in more ways than one.
But if I had to cook something and bring something, I'll say I would still be a favor of the traditional menu. What's the safest thing that I can make that I trust bringing to other people? You said what?
Rolls, you're gonna bring
Rolls.
the
Rolls. Like I might even try my hand. Actually, you know what? Can't even do that. I was gonna say try my hand at some cornbread, but that you can't even do that either. I'm gonna just stick with the rolls. I'm
okay.
gonna bring the dessert. Y'all need some store-bought ice cream. I get y'all some real good store-bought ice cream. And if y'all want to buy a cake, if nobody gonna bake one, I got y'all.
So you were the one that's bringing something important store bought, and you still have to be on time. Most people who think that I'm gonna just bring like the liquor, or I'm gonna just bring like something store bought, they always come last. Like, why are you late? You didn't even have to make it.
Well, also, I think that as a people, a good amount of us, I won't say all of us, but a good amount of us struggle with time. I think CP time is a thing. I know I fall victim to that. I'm still working on being better. But I just think it's hard for the vast majority of us to stick to a time. I don't know why our brains work like that. Like, but it just makes sense. Like it's the same way. If people get to work 10 or 15 minutes late, in their mind, they don't really think they're late.
Yeah, when in all actuality, you are 10 to
You are
15 minutes.
10 or 15 minutes late. But that's legit how we will think. So I don't know. Maybe it's just an us thing. I don't know.
This is spilling over into the other episode of Growing Up Black, but I think the only time that we are on time, and this is pushing it, is flying. Because if you 10 to
Very
15 minutes
pushing.
late for a flight, that's another $300-400 that you got to figure out how you getting somewhere. That is the only time. And we will be running late to the airport, but we gonna make that flight. Everything else, that's debatable. You want to be on time? I don't know.
Look, don't let you be at an airport that's not busy or be flying out of an airport that you know ain't busy. Oh, we definitely cutting it close. The only
Hmm.
way we not cutting it close is if we know we gotta go to an airport that like you don't want to take no chances whatsoever. None.
My last flight, I had 10 minutes to spare. I was gonna leave out at a certain time. I left out about 45 minutes later than that, and I was like, "Oh Lord Jesus, I'm not gonna make it." And I got there 10 minutes to spare, walked right through, and they was like, "Now boarding flight," and I was like, "Whew, thank you."
Yeah, we gotta start playing with fire like that, man. But that might legit be the only what's the worst occasion you've been late to? Like a lateness that kind of has you like legit embarrassed.
It had to have been work related. I don't think I was late for an interview. I was late for a presentation. I was supposed to be doing a training, and this was on the other side of town, through rush hour, morning traffic. And I was like, I'm close. I swear I'm on my way. Like it's construction and da 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 da. And I was just, that felt bad because that was my first time with these people. And I was like, this is a terrible, terrible impression. But yeah, I usually wake up in the morning and think like, if I'm gonna be late, what's gonna be my lie? So I'm ready to go.
Gotta have a lot
Hmm.
prepared for sure. Yeah, no, I think the I was late to a wedding, but like late, just like couldn't get in for the ceremony. I was not in the wedding or anything like that.
We were together. We went to.
Oh, that wedding I was on time for.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I feel like somebody was late to that wedding.
Wasn't it you?
Maybe.
I mean, you did have some assistance that wedding, so that might have been why.
Let's go with that.
But no, yeah, I wasn't involved in this wedding, and I wasn't the driver either, so I was kind of late by association. But nonetheless, it just felt bad because by the time we pulled up, like the wedding party was getting ready to like walk in, so it's
Mm.
just one of them like Yeah, gonna miss this one. Gonna be on the outside. But yeah, other than that, I don't really be upset about being late. I think other people are more upset about people being late, which I get from a principal standpoint for sure. But yeah, like I said, trying to be better.
Because why are you always late? Like, I can think of several people, some bruhs that would probably pop up, in both of our minds. But why are you late? Why are you always late? That just, I don't understand. So I have to start giving people earlier call times to be like, oh, I'm picking you up at this time, or the party started at this time, or come over to my house at this time, because they're gonna be like, oh, I'm running late. And I'm like, perfect, now you're on time.
But see that's why you can't have a flyer, because if you have a flyer, no matter what you tell that person, they just gonna go off the time that's on the flyer and still plan on being late.
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, I'm not saying if it's just kind of an open social gathering, like say Thanksgiving dinner, we're like, okay, we're gonna have dinner at 5. Um, well, that's early. That's if you got a lot of older people. We're gonna have dinner at 7. Let's go with that.
Wait, so what is the Thanksgiving dinner time? Like what do you think is the average Thanksgiving dinner time for us?
Well, at this point, I have learned that it's once the food is done. So
Facts.
if you've been cooking early and the food is done, why are we waiting till 5 and the food been done since 2? We about to eat.
Oh, everybody got to get there. Everybody got to get there. It got to be like placed out. Then you want everybody to be there so everybody can be there for
Well,
prayer and when you're eating everything.
right, but that's the whole point I'm making now is that there is nobody there, so we can eat whenever. It almost got to so
Hey,
bad we almost didn't even eat together. We was just kind of nibbling and talking, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna make a plate. Now I guess we kind of got to serve. It was like, why? We've been with each other for the last 5 hours. Like this needs to feel real again. That's why I wanted like I wish I did cook or like to cook. Switch up the menu. Let's get some turkey tips in here. Let's throw a little, shrimp or something. We don't need the same stuff that we've been eating for the last 25 years because. At this point, I can't even eat half that menu anymore. So let's switch this up. Let's do a non-traditional Thanksgiving.
I do think non-traditional Thanksgivings would be fun. And if it's like you're explaining for a family that wants to maybe like spice things up or experience something a little bit different, so it just don't feel so like, this is like what we have to do or we've always done. I do think that'd be cool. And I think I don't know, that might actually help Thanksgiving, like not having it tied to what it's stereotypically tied to in terms of like what we're supposed to do or how you're supposed to gather. Like, I think Thanksgiving should be one of those like free agent holidays where it's like you can do whatever you want for Thanksgiving as long as you're doing it together with a group of people, family, friends, whatever the case may be. So maybe
Yeah.
it's not doing like a sit down, we all have this big potluck, type of dinner. But maybe I don't know. Like you said, maybe it's a change up to the menu. Maybe if y'all doing something different, but y'all doing it together. Like people still take trips and vacations sometimes around Thanksgiving, but something like that, as opposed to it being associated with, oh yeah, we have to cook. No, we don't necessarily have to do that to be thankful. Yeah, we can find another way.
Right. So like we started playing games. I started bringing stuff over because I'm like, okay, we can't just sit and look at each other forever because then it's just gonna be a regular day. So now we play games and those kind of things to kind of spice it up a bit. So yeah, Thanksgiving is changing. And I'm thankful for that, but it's not it's definitely not the same because we don't have the large amount of family that we used to have gathered, and I, for one, am not adding to the population of my family growing. So
We're
this
gonna talk about
this
this
is
in
the best I got. I'm gonna give y'all a couple games, a couple laughs, because I'm not giving y'all a couple kids. As we close, outside of the asphalt that you were wearing, what is something that you were thankful for as we are going into this season?
I'm weak. I am thankful for. I think I am thankful for acceptance,
Hmm.
the ability to accept. Um, has not always been there for me, and I don't think it's something that is easy to build or like hone as a skill or as an ability. So thankfully
Mhm.
I've reached a place that like heading into this season, I know I need to accept a lot of things to be able to live with them, be at peace with them, move on from them, etc. So thankful for that because I've seen it started to um take course and it's very beneficial. So what about you?
Well, the first thing that came to mind was therapy, and I say it all the time, but like, so thankful for therapy. I am such a more enhanced version of myself because of almost 2 years of consistent therapy. So shout out to that. But the reason that gets into that kind of what you were saying with acceptance, I'm thankful for permission. I
Mm.
have given myself permission to do, to be, to live, to exist in ways that feel authentic to me, but also like I'm not asking other people for things. Like I'm giving myself permission to just be planted and be here. So I think all the things, especially within the last like 9 to 12 months, I don't know that I would have experienced had I not allowed myself to say, go and do this. Say yes. Say no. Give yourself permission to do and not do the things that you are interested in. So yeah.
I like that. That's what's up. That's dope. Well, until then, until next time, y'all stay thankful. Y'all have fun with y'all families or friends, whichever ones y'all gonna be around for Thanksgiving. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace.